DNVR Broncos Live, coming to you from Studio A here at the DNVR bar, and y'all already know the A stands for Avalanche.
Oh, what a sweet, sweet victory last night, Ryan, on the doorstep of another championship in town.
Ooh, God, that feels good to say. Just got to finish it off. Just finish the job. But that sure feels like a soul stealer.
It does. Ryan, the Avs have lost 3 games this postseason.
Yep.
In order to not win the cup, they have to lose 3 in the next 3 games. Touching wood, but those are just the facts.
Those are just the facts. Man, what an insane finish last night. Like, that one is what I love about it is it's so distinct that, it's already going to be something you remember forever.
Yeah.
But everyone everywhere will remember that, I would say, 5 seconds between when the puck gets past Vasilevsky, everyone's flinches, and then nothing happens, and you're just sitting there thinking, where is it?
Yep.
And I remember thinking, like, Vasilevsky doesn't know where it is either, like, because he's kind of looking around, and I still didn't think, like, I just assumed it got caught in his jersey or something like that. Obviously, it's a lot of thoughts to have in 5 seconds, but it's all happening.
I mean, you see the puck go past, and your instant reaction is goal. But then you don't see anyone else celebrating like it's a goal. And it's a walk-off, so everyone would be going crazy. And then you're right. The next thing I noticed was Vasilevsky kind of looking for where it was. But then I thought, okay, it's in his armpit or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And, like, I never saw the puck go past him. So, like, I didn't think goal. Like, if you saw the video that Allie had the phone set up right in front of us, just like of our faces, like, you see me kind of flinch, but I didn't, like, celebrate.
Right.
I just was ready, like, if it did go in.
Well, because it was a great look.
Right, exactly. And, like, Vasi was, crazy in overtime. Got lucky twice, obviously.
Yep.
Some would say that hitting the post isn't lucky, but I would say it is. You get beat, and then it misses by an inch.
It's very helpful, to say the least.
Yes, exactly. My thing is, like, the puck got past you.
Yeah, you got beat.
Yes, exactly, and then you got saved by the post. But he was still, he made a couple great saves, and, you expect greatness from him.
Yep.
So as soon as I don't see him celebrate, I'm like, this mother.
Right.
And then next thing you know, they're celebrating.
Yep.
And, like, I love all of the just side angles. Like, the best one, though, is the one from right on the ice. I believe it was a girl who worked for Sportsnet who has the shot. And Kadri, like, puts his stick on his knees. He's, like, mad. He leans over. And then he even is turning away from the bench as they're all pouring off the bench to go. And so, like, they, like, intercept him, and he's just like, what? It's just so great. Like, that's what'll be the most memorable part of that. Some would maybe say that it'll be remembered for potentially being too many men on the ice, but not me. I will remember it for that, and I'll remember Bo Byram being the one just beelining down the ice, pointing to the top of the net. I think he was the only one on the Avs who knew, and I think when he went by the bench, that's when they caught on to it.
Right.
Because there's actually another angle of the bench where you see them all jump for a second.
Right.
And then they freeze.
Yep.
And
it's just like your reaction, just like I think everyone's reaction.
But they were, like, celebrating.
Right.
Like, they jumped out of their seats to celebrate.
What's funny is then they just went completely flat.
And then just stopped.
Yeah.
But then I think they see Bo just screaming down the ice, pointing at the top of the net, and that's when they all jump over.
And it's just, you never get these moments in sports anymore because of technology.
So true.
Because of lasers and things having so many different camera angles. And that's why, it was only a few seconds, but it felt so old school being that way.
And then even after you're seeing them celebrating, there's still doubt in your heart, you know, because you're always waiting for your heart to get ripped out as a sports fan.
Of course.
And so then it goes to the ultra slow-mo replay where you see the puck sneak under his arm. And, like, even then you're still like, where does it go? Where does it go? And then just right there on the very, very top shelf.
And did it hook around because it hit the back and then kind of popped up?
I think there's, like, a little, like, flap under there, and it just went right into it.
Absolutely incredible. And just, one for the ages, Ryan. An awesome, awesome game. And now the Avs can take care of business at home.
At home on some real ice.
Yes.
And I love how, like, Tampa's defense is like, it's really hot in Tampa Bay. I'm like, it was 90 degrees for game 2. You didn't see us complaining about it.
You can have as much AC and
Yes.
cold ice as you want wherever you are when you're dealing with that much money.
Yep, absolutely.
And Ryan, one more thing. Oh, what was it about this game? What was the thing that I was going to say about this? Oh, the too many men on the ice. Give me a break. Except I want them to continue to harp on that. I want Tampa Bay to put all their focus on it because, Ryan, the series is 3-1, but 2 overtime games. Now, the Avs did dominate in both overtimes and close the first one out within, a minute 15 or something like that. Obviously, a close game last night, but the Avs, again, dominated in overtime. But, I mean, still 2 overtime games. This has been a closer series than the 3-1 score would indicate. So, I want the Lightning to have their mind focused on something else. Keep complaining about that. Keep focusing on that, John Cooper, and the Avs will focus on bringing home a championship tomorrow.
It's one of the softest things I've ever seen is just complaints about that because, I guess I get it from people who don't watch a lot of hockey to be like, that should be called. Why wouldn't it be called? First of all, it just never gets called.
And it happens all the time.
It's for football fans, I would compare it to holding. That's great. If Tom Brady throws a walk-off touchdown pass in the AFC Championship game and you are legitimately posting screenshots about how the right guard was holding, right. You're out of your gourd. Like that could be called on every single play and it could be called on every single change.
Yep.
The only way they're going to call is like it hits someone's skate going down or someone that's trying to make a play on the puck runs into the extra guy.
Right. Or it's super egregious where it's for 10 seconds or something.
And you want to talk about super egregious? How about Kadri getting tripped full on stick to the blade of his skate, just minutes before? They don't call that. They weren't going to call anything. And honestly, like, it's easy to say when you win the game. I don't hate them just deciding we're not blowing the whistle, and they almost do it in every playoff overtime
of every sport.
We talk about it every game. The only way you're getting a power play in overtime is if someone throws the puck over the ice because it's not subjective. Yep. It's 100%. That's a penalty, and the refs can't do anything to stop it.
And we saw the Lightning do that in Game 1.
Yes, exactly. So, what a game! What a memory!
Do the bar or our reaction?
Oh heck yeah!
Oh, do the bar. Do the bar. This is the best.
Okay, we got the bar reaction coming up right now from last night.
Oh.
Oh, they might not be able to hear the sound.
Oh, the sound's the best part.
People are going crazy. Loud noises. Loud noises. I mean, you see it. You see the little everyone's hands go up for a second, come down for a split second, and then start going crazy again.
You can see me, though, even protecting my heart because I'm celebrating, but like every few seconds I stop and I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? Like I need more clarity.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Lindsay's the same as me. What is happening? What is happening?
And everyone's almost a little muted for a little bit.
Yes,
in terms of their face. Like, they want to be fist pumping and stuff.
Yeah, there's Allie's reaction after the shot didn't go in. So we thought.
And then, of course, camera down.
Yes, camera down.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And, I mean, just a memorable celebration, memorable game. And then also, Ryan, there was a component of it that we haven't even talked about. You've mentioned his name a few times, Nazem Kadri. He has been a fantastic storyline this whole season. He's been a great storyline this playoffs with what happened earlier, and then a fantastic story yesterday. Suffers a broken, thumb? Exactly, yeah, broken thumb, just like Russ. It seems like he's done for the playoffs. That was the initial report. Kadri's done for the playoffs. Then a couple of days ago, starts getting on the ice, then more and more ice and more and more ice, and then it really looked like he was for sure going to play last night. He plays for the first time last night, and he is the one that gets the goal for the Avs to win. You couldn't have wrote a better story for Kadri this postseason.
Yeah, I tweeted out that Cogliano was going to get it, and then instantly after I pressed send, I was like, I should have said Kadri. But can't delete it because every single overtime that I've guessed a player, I've been wrong, but the Avs have won. So I was like, I don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
So, anyways. Yeah, I did too. I actually didn't think about that.
Are we just realizing that?
That's the best.
Wow.
I didn't realize it till I woke up this morning. I didn't look at my DraftKings account because I bet on them before the game and then doubled down when they were losing. But that's how you know it was an epic win.
Yeah.
Did not even look at the slip until this morning.
What'd you get them at? Plus
200.
At what point in the game? Third?
No,
Don't remember. That's
in
okay.
the second period. I think it was actually maybe even first intermission.
Okay.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys letting us talk about the Avs for 10 minutes to start here.
Absolutely. But it does tie in with Kadri.
And it does tie in with our topic today, which is we want to make some comps. Obviously the Avs a championship caliber team. That's what the Broncos want to be. So let's start with Nazem Kadri, who obviously is the hero last night. And to me, when the Avs made this acquisition just a few years ago, I was like, this is exactly what this team needs. In football, I actually haven't heard this used that much in hockey, but in football we use this word all the time. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
He is a dog. And a lot of times that rubs people the wrong way. And I think even Kadri himself would admit he's lost his cool a couple times. It's cost him really big. But in the end, he's the classic, you love him when he's on your team, you hate him when he's off your team. And so if I was thinking of a comp, I would immediately go to someone who's no longer a Bronco. But on the Broncos' last championship team, it's so obvious, so clear, it's Aqib Talib.
Yeah.
It's 100% Aqib Talib. And, it's one of those guys who's going to do some things that get under the skin of your opponents. He's going to do some things that go right up to the line or cross the line at times.
He's going to yank some chains, steal some jewelry.
Yes, exactly. And what's interesting about Kadri is he hasn't necessarily done that this playoffs. And I think he's just so dialed in on making sure he's on the ice. And that's why it was so sad when he got hurt.
Yeah.
But what's cool about it is he's so talented that he's still so effective when he's out there. So I really think there's only one player who is close, and I think it's actually an issue I have with the Broncos.
Right.
Is they don't have enough guys like this or enough candidates to be the potential Kadri of the Broncos, but the guy who is there is Kareem Jackson.
I like that. I'm going to take this a little different route here because I like talking about the dog part, but I'm going to focus a little bit on last night too and the circumstances that surrounded last night. Injury. So you got to be talking about a guy that isn't necessarily always on the field, and then also a guy that can end a game with one play. And so that could happen on offense, right? You can get a game-winning touchdown. I'm definitely not going Brandon McManus, although you could get a game-winning field goal. That, to me, isn't like the quintessential ending a game on one play. Ending a game on one play, I think, is sacks.
Yeah,
and I think of, the other team's driving. You have a 4-point lead, and they need a touchdown. They're going in. No time left. It's 4th and 7 from the 17. They're only 17 yards away from scoring a touchdown. And Bradley Chubb comes back from injury. He's been out, very talented, just like Kadri. And then he makes that game-changing ending play. And I can even fit your narrative in with Bradley Chubb a little bit, Ryan. I can fit a little dog in there, too, because we haven't seen it on the field necessarily, but we've seen it on the practice field. And Bradley Chubb right now, Kareem Jackson's the big talker. Bradley Chubb is the guy that's getting under people's skin year in and year out at training camp, specifically Garrett Bowles' skin, but also he's chirping it up with the offensive linemen and not afraid to get in some pushing, shoving fight matches with guys. And I think they need that from Bradley Chubb. Just like you were talking about the issue, it's only Kareem Jackson, and I agree with you. It's only Kareem Jackson. He's the only dog on the defense that we've seen show up in games. I think they need a little bit about that from Bradley Chubb, but they need it in the right way, Ryan. They need it in the way of getting under the skin just enough, but not getting in a fight with the left tackle and getting ejected.
How about this for your calm? Nazem Kadri, number 7 overall pick in the first round.
Oh.
Bradley Chubb, number 5, of course.
I love it.
How about this one, though? You mentioned being on and off and being really effective when they're on. How about Randy Gregory? Especially because suspension is one of the reasons Kadri's missed games before. Yeah. And, of course, that's been an issue for Randy Gregory. Different reasons for missing time. Obviously, a little bit of injury, too. But I kind of think I got to see him in action. But I feel like Randy Gregory is a candidate to bring that level of intensity and dog mentality to the defense as well.
I completely agree. I love that. Now, if I'm going to the offensive side, although again I don't think it fits just as well.
And just to add on to Gregory, I would say Kadri, when the Avs acquired him, was about the level of fanfare as Randy Gregory. Like, it's not like, oh, you just acquired a bona fide superstar.
Right.
It's like, whoa, you acquired this really talented guy who has issues here and there.
Yeah.
And, he's not meant to be Kadri is not meant to be one of the Avs superstars.
Right.
But he's right below that.
Yep. And that's exactly what Randy Gregory is, Ryan. If the Broncos brought him in as a bona fide superstar, as a pass rusher, he would be $25 million this year.
Probably,
at least $20 million. Broncos are getting him for $14 million, which is crazy to say. If he turns out to that guy, they're getting him for a steal at $14 million. If Bradley Chubb comes out and has a great year, he could be looking at $25 million a year. So that puts in comparison where that $14 million stands. So this isn't my first choice, but if we're going to the offensive side, how about Courtland Sutton? Very talented player, has had issues staying on the field, specifically just injury reasons. I think he can bring a little bit of dog to the field as well. Yeah. And man, if someone's gonna make a game-changing touchdown or something, it's pretty easy to point and say it'd be Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, and I love these things. There was a comment earlier from Casey who said, I'll remember last night as the day that Nazem Kadri became a Colorado legend. And I completely
giving
agree.
Me chills right now.
But there's so many great aspects to a championship run. One of the great ones is the tweets you and I have been getting from people saying, man, you guys got me into the Avs. And now I'm having the most fun I've had in years watching sports, which is that gives me chills.
And speaking of that, Ryan, really quick, a shout out to our guy Antonio R. He tweeted at us last night.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That my favorite thing in sports is hugging strangers. Moments that make you hug strangers, that is what I live for. And the other thing is the moments that create legends. Kadri, it's a cliche phrase, but he'll never have to buy a beer in Denver ever again. You know what I mean?
Especially here.
Yeah, exactly.
The DNVR bar.
Oh, God, come through. But that's what I love about these things is it could be anyone at any time. And when you think about a Broncos Super Bowl run, it's who's gonna be that guy who makes the play that makes them go down in history.
And this is
Bradley Roby is the one who intercepts the 2-point conversion in the AFC Championship game. That's the one-for-one comp here.
It is. And I was going to say this other one isn't exactly perfect. Von Miller was going to be a legend here no matter what. But Ryan, and this is something I've never done before, take away Super Bowl 50. Take away the playoff run that Von Miller had. There's no doubt that Von Miller's the best pass rusher the Denver Broncos have ever had. He's a Ring of Famer for sure. He's still a Hall of Famer. Legend? I mean, when we talk about Von, he's in the conversation, if not in the Mount Rushmore of Denver Broncos. Without Super Bowl 50, I don't think he's there.
Nope.
I think he's maybe in the conversation, but he's not one of those Final Four.
And it would just be so easy to say, yeah, but he didn't get one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, to me, ring culture, I think is what people call it in the NBA world, which is just rings are everything. And there are a lot of people who want to make the case that they aren't.
Right.
And they are. I totally understand how it's frustrating where, you're comparing Peyton Manning and Dan Marino, and it's just Marino doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Conversation over. that
it should be.
You're definitely leaving out some nuance there. But in the end, that's the only reason you play.
Yep, 100%. And that's why Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, they're in conversations about, are they top 10? No one's really putting them in the conversation of top 5 because they only have a single one.
Yep.
Oh, only a single one. That's why it was so huge that Peyton got the second one, and it doesn't matter that it was led by Von Miller, the no-fly zone, Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, DeMarcus Ware. He's got 2 rings.
Yes. Yeah, and that's where the nuance gets left out, and it just doesn't really matter.
No, especially if he's on your team. If he's your guy, it doesnn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers on his very last season takes a huge step back and somehow they have an incredible defense that wins it, we'll be saying I would give him the credit.
I would not.
I know.
I know. Yeah, no. For argument's sake, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's rings are everything, especially when it comes to legacy.
Yep, 100%. I don't know how we got there, but I love that conversation.
I do too.
And Ryan, let's actually do some more comps because we've talked about Cale and who the comp is. I want to dive into that a little bit too. But unfortunately, Kadri won't be able to come by the bar tomorrow night because he's got a Stanley Cup to win. But everyone else, you got to come through. If you're not one of the guys on the Avalanche, you got to be here. Guys, gals, everyone, come by Friday night. Ryan, no one wanted the Avs to lose Game 3 in Tampa Bay, but come on, at home on a weekend with that loss in Game 3, it sets up Friday night. Could be amazing. Could be an unbelievable weekend for the Avs. And get your weekend started here at the DNVR bar. It is going to be lit. I mean, if those videos don't get you pumped, I don't know what's going to about seeing the bar last night. It's probably going to be even 10 times crazier tomorrow night, and I don't even know how you can get crazier than that, but it's going to be the bar always comes through. So come by, check us out, and then also catch the best coverage of all Colorado sports over at thednvr.com. Get yourself an awesome Avs t-shirt. Carry Me Home shirt is the hot one right now, so check us out over at thednvr.com, and come by the bar tomorrow. Absolutely.
I actually didn't get the rundown.
You didn't get the rundown? Well, I'll tell you about our friends over at Sexy Pizza, where, Ryan, there's still a few days to get in on the great deal that they've got. DNVR 15 DNVR Avs over at Sexy Pizza will get you 15% off their pizza. It's perfect. If you're not able to make it here for the bar, that's your dinner on Friday night. If you're able to make it to the bar, that's your dinner on Saturday. That's your dinner tonight. We've got your dinner covered. Sexy Pizza. Use the code DNVRAVS to get 15% off the most delicious pizza in town.
Zach, I don't even need the rundown. I always tell people that work here, you shouldn't need to look at anything to do an ad read. So give me who it is, and I'll give the read.
Where can you watch Colorado sports if you don't have cable?
Yes. Our good friends at Evoca TV solving a multi-year problem of people in Denver not being able to watch the Nuggets and Avs. Thankfully, the Avs have gone on this run. They've now played 18. No, sorry. I think maybe 19 or 20 games.
20
games. Okay, 20.
17-3.
No, right.
No. 18. 15-3.
15-3, yes. If they get 17 wins in this playoff run, something has gone very weird.
It would be historic.
Yes. So 18 games have been on national television. Thankfully, people have been able to hop on the bandwagon and ride. But Evoca TV bringing you an option for next season.
Yep.
Because Lord knows that these billionaires aren't going to back down to each other. They're just going to keep measuring their you-know-whats for the next whoever knows how long. But now you're an Avs fan. Now you need a place to watch them. Evoca TV is the place to do it. So go to evoca.tv/DNVR. You'll get $10 off your first 3 months. And that's actually a lot because with $25 a month to get the service, $5 a month to get the receiver, you'll get $10 off for your first 3 months. That is about 33% off your first 3 months. It's a great deal, and it's a great way to watch your Avs and Nuggets.
It's a fantastic way.
Clip that and send it to every employee.
There we go. Just a beautiful ad read, Ryan. And speaking of beautiful, Cale Makar's game. We talked about this earlier, but Ryan, after this playoffs, because what's it been, 2 weeks since we've had this conversation? Cale Makar has become the Avs' best player by far and away. Now, I can't say he's Russell Wilson because it's different. That's why I'm going Pat Surtain. Cale Makar is Pat Surtain, young, an absolute superstar. And Ryan, I don't think it's crazy that you could be saying that Pat Surtain by the end of this year is the best player on this team, including Russell Wilson. Now, positional value changes and stuff, but it's not like Cale plays the most valuable position on the ice. So I think it's a perfect 1-for-1.
How old is Pat Surtain?
He is he's younger
22?
than Cale. I think 23.
23 is Cale's age.
I think he's not 25.
No, he's 20. He's 22.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're about the same age. How crazy is that?
22 and 23.
Cale just
Holy
won Defensive Player of the Year in hockey, the Norris Trophy.
Shout out, Cale.
Congratulations to him. Congratulations to everyone here at DNVR who cashed in on that. I know I actually was late to the party on that, so I never got it. But Andre, Blaze, I think a few other people had big things. Andre had a Jokic MVP Cale Makar parlay.
Do you know the odds on that?
He said it was a white whale, so well maybe he didn't say that. I can't remember. White whale for us is plus 10,000. But yeah, Jokic MVP, Cale Makar, Norris parlay.
Man,
and I think he even might have had like Milan, his team, to win the Italian league, and that happened
too. Oh my
too.
goodness! Wow, that may be a white whale then.
Yeah, for sure. What was I saying there? Yeah, so
Cale, Pat, Young.
Yeah, Pat Surtain would have to win Defensive Player of the Year this year to be at Cale's level, which is possible. I just don't think he's going to get thrown at enough. Henry thinks he is going to get thrown at, which gets me fired up.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to follow that. But check this out for Cale Makar. He won the college hockey Heisman.
Yep.
He is already an all-star. He won the Norris Trophy for best defenseman in the NHL. Trying to think if there's one. Oh, he won the Calder Trophy, which is Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
And now, with one win away, he is minus 600 odds to win the Conn Smythe Trophy for MVP of the playoffs. He is 23 years old.
Absolutely insane. And he's still trying to grow facial hair. And hey, that's no shot. I can't grow it either. I'm still trying to do it at 30 years old. It just shows you how much he can still improve. And Ryan, that's why when you hear national people talk about Cale, some of them are saying he could be like the greatest defenseman ever.
Yep.
And it's not crazy to say because you look at all of that. And I think we've all seen his greatness here in Denver. That's why I think it's important to look at the national scale. This isn't just people in Denver saying it.
Unbelievable. And Cale, I think you're more right. I think Pat Surtain has the best chance to be Cale, mostly because of the youth. I still think in terms of the way they move, I would go with Justin. It's that smooth speed. But Pat Surtain, in terms of the arc to potentially be one of the best players ever at the position, I think it would have to involve a meteoric rise from Pat Surtain to get in the conversation as Cale, but he has the most potential to do that.
He does, and I think he can do that. Okay, so then, Brian, if it's Cale, or let's just say it's Pat right now, who's Justin? Because I have a hard time figuring out who MacKinnon is on this team. And I want to include Russ in these, and it's not easy to do with the Avs. Because I would say Russ is the goalie. But with the Avs, it doesn't really work out in that way.
I think, especially if we're giving Cale to PS2, you have to give MacKinnon to Russ.
Okay, just an absolute superstar.
And I think they have a similar like bulldog-like mentality. That's the way I would compare those two. It's like winning is everything.
And on top of that, they both have something that's pretty much the best in the league. Well, when you look at MacKinnon, and it's very helpful too. MacKinnon, just an absolute firecracker. The best skater on the ice, can blow by, and we've seen it happen and turn into goals. And with Russ, it's the deep ball.
Yep.
No one throws it like him.
Yep.
And they're both game-changing.
Absolutely. So I think that's where you have to go there. For Justin, if we're giving PS2 to Cale, I don't think you're going to like this or people are going to like this, but I actually think it's true, and I think he's maybe the most underrated player on the Avs. It's Devon Toews.
Okay. And that I like going the underrated route.
Right, and it's like Toews is so sound. Everything he does is right, except for the last couple of games he's made 2 big mistakes. But in a normal game, he doesn't make a mistake. He just gets the puck, makes the right play, moves it up the ice. He's liable to score once in a while, make some big plays on the second power play unit. And I think that's Justin. Like, Devon Toews is an elite defender in the NHL. Justin Simmons is an elite defender in the NFL, but he doesn't necessarily make as many wow, oh my God plays. Yeah. He just makes the right play over and over and over and over.
Unbelievably solid. You can count on him all the time. I love that one. Okay, now we got to get...
I do think Andrew has an interesting point here. It's just tough with the offense-defense thing, but he says Landy for Justin.
Okay, I like that a lot.
I like it too.
I like that a lot.
But Landy could also be Russ.
He could be. And I do like going Russ for MacKinnon. I'm just hung up on the goalie position, with it being the most important. Now, if it was Vasilevsky back in net, that would be Russ. Because a guy that can carry the team, that's the most important position. Yeah. And if his team totally lets him down, well, Russ isn't going to be able to carry him if they totally let him down, just like what happened in Game 2, 7-0. That could happen with Russ. But for the most part, he's got you in every game.
Kemper outdueled Vasilevsky last night.
He absolutely...
People took issue with me saying that, and I just don't understand it. They had more shots. He had more saves. Less goals given up. They had more scoring chances and less goal. Like, Vasilevsky obviously does the flashy, flash the leather, that type of stuff. I think 1-for-1, straight up, Kemper outplayed him last night.
I didn't know that there was even...
He gave up one soft goal, which is frustrating. And he assisted the game-winning goal.
I didn't even know that was... debatable that he outdueled. I'm really surprised there's pushback unless you have a lot of Tampa Bay fans in your mentions.
I think the pushback I think would be like it's not all just about saves, it's about the type of saves. But based on the stats, not just saves, Tampa had more scoring chances and less goals.
Right. Yeah. So I completely agree with you. But also, Ryan, there's going to be times where Russell Wilson is a better quarterback and the Broncos are playing a team and the other quarterback outduels him. Who's a better quarterback, Russell Wilson or Derek Carr?
Russ.
In the next 5 years, do you think Derek Carr is going to outplay Russell Wilson in at least one game?
For sure.
But who would you rather have?
Russ every time.
Exactly. And probably tomorrow night in the rest of the series, who would you rather have?
The Avalanche.
Not an answer. Don't worry, I'm not going to press you to say it, but you get my point there. So I'll go with you. Russ is MacKinnon, the goalie position. Got to think about some controversy. Got to think about some guys going in and out. Again, the positional value is not going to play here. How about running back? Javonte and Melvin, especially in clutch times. Okay, you got to decide who's going to be taking this handoff on 3rd and 2 when you have to have a first down, but you can't have a fumble.
Yeah, I like this. For Darcy, the way I would frame it is very capable of greatness, but doesn't always give you that. And I think for Melvin, that's a fair area. It's like you're not expecting Melvin to be the best running back in the NFL,
right?
But he's very capable of having a great game. We know that he's been up in the upper echelon before. He's been in the league a little bit longer than, he's been in the league a while. Mm-hmm. But is Melvin even a starter? Like, does he deserve to be one of the 6 Avalanche players on the, I guess it's not only 6, but the main guys that we're going to talk about?
That's why when you described, Ryan, what'd you say, great, capable of greatness, but not always delivering, I think of Javonte on the flip side. I think of a guy that can be absolutely unstoppable. That's greatness right there, what Javonte has already shown. What we've also seen from Javonte is you'll get the 12 that breaks 3 tackles, you'll get the 20, and then you'll get 1-1-1. And if we're talking about, one of 6 guys we're talking about, Javonte's in that conversation.
Sorry, I was reading the comment. I didn't understand it. Why is Jose so mad at me for saying that Darcy outdueled?
No,
I think he's agreeing with you. He's saying Jake Plummer has outdueled Tom Brady a couple of times. Deal with it. It happens. Not always the best player.
He's calling me
no. You're not dude. You're RK to Jose.
Okay.
We love you, Jose.
I thought maybe it's just like the combination of the running backs. That two-headed monster is the goalie.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I like it.
All right, who else do we need comps for here? Are we still sticking with Landy as Toews, or are we giving him Justin as Toews, or are we giving him Landy?
Man, I think we're giving him Landy, the captain, the leader, and it's not because he's necessarily the absolute best. It's because of his personality and who he is.
Okay, then I think we need a Toews.
What are we looking for? Describe it just like you did with the goaltender.
Well, I was saying, it's the most sound player on the field. Just never screws up. Always in the right place at the right time. I was actually kind of thinking Josie.
That's exactly what I was
But
going
Toews
to say.
isn't limited in any way,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
the one thing that I don't love about that.
Offensive side of the ball, then, and obviously it's different, but.
Tim Patrick?
Yeah. Does everything right.
Yep.
Everything you ask him, he comes through.
Yep. And, I mean...
I like that.
The Broncos invested even less in Tim Patrick, but the Avs traded a second-round pick to get Devon Toews, which was just an absolute robbery by Joe Sakic.
Has he made all the right moves?
Yep. And oh, God, he... maybe the most underrated person in all of this. And he obviously gets a lot of credit. But it's sort of like how, and I think I've used this comp before, it's kind of like how we talk about with Kansas City. It's just like, well, you just bring in a guy and you just say, like, be fast. And then they just go be fast. And that's what Joe has done. Like, he's built this team almost from scratch.
Yeah.
There's, I think the two holdovers that he didn't add to this team are Landy and Eric Johnson. So he's built everything, but he put in such a good system that all he has to do is just be like, oh, Cogliano, like, yeah, he can skate. We're only going to ask him to like be fast and be aggressive.
Right.
And then you just bring him in. They look great.
Yeah.
But Joe Sakic has pressed all the right buttons. He's clearly the best GM in town. And George Payton, off to a great start as well. George Payton is basically back where Joe was when he drafted Nathan MacKinnon.
Right. Exactly. 100%. But Ryan, there's a very easy comp for Mr. Sakic. That's looking at Mr. John Elway. Now, they've done it differently. Payton did it the free agent, John did it the free agent route. Who knows what happens if he doesn't get Payton? But he got Payton. And now I think the Avs are in much better position moving forward after a championship than the Broncos were.
Because they're not going to lose their most important player.
Exactly. But I mean, up until this point, in terms of Sakic getting his first championship, it's John Elway. And how freaking cool is it that this town has two of the best players in their sport.
Guys.
Yeah, and they're the best player in their sport become the general manager and win a Super Bowl as a general. I mean, this is like pinch me stuff. This is storybook.
Obviously, the Avs won away from Joe Sakic joining that group. But it's really cool because it almost never works for other places. Like the old bring in a legend thing.
Yep.
It fails so often, and it actually sucks a lot because you end up having a bad taste in your mouth. And I think some Broncos fans even have a bad taste in their mouth about John Elway, even though he got a championship.
Right.
But like even just look at Patrick Waugh coming to be the Avs coach. Like it's almost like he's fallen out of favor in a lot of conversations just because the last thing that we remember is him quitting being coach of the Avalanche, like straight up quitting.
Right.
And so that's like a weird thing. A lot of times you end up regretting doing get the band back together, bring back in the legend. And I think we're very fortunate that John, much as people want to criticize him, was incredibly successful as general manager. And Joe Sakic, from a winning percentage standpoint, is even more successful.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. John had an insane run of winning percentage, but then had a bad run on the back.
Yeah. If he would have retired right after that first, oh baby, maybe that's something Joe needs to take from John. retire right after this one. Now, again, not necessarily because he's going to. In fact, I'm looking at a Joe Sakic signed jersey here in the bar, which is so cool, and also a Forsberg jersey right next to it, too cool. But I guess he shouldn't take that advice because he's trending in the right direction. The team's trending in the right direction.
Oh, this is cool from Joshua, who says, I love comparing football players to hockey players and their value to us new fans. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's great. That's
I love it. Thank you, Joshua. And also, we had Matthew Johansson in the comment section helping us out. He's saying, hit us with the like button. We'd really appreciate that. Also, subscribe, turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. We love these off-season pods, and we love you guys joining us.
And Jose did say that, yes, he wasn't mad at me, so I'm glad you're not mad at me.
Of course. You're not dude in this community.
Well, I was just confused.
And when Ryan's confused, he gets defensive.
That's true.
Allie speaking from experience.
All right, other players.
We've stumped him, Allie. Stumped.
Other players on the Avs that we haven't got to yet. We got Kadri. Well, we haven't gotten Mikko Rantanen. Insanely talented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
JJ?
No, because Mikko...
Maybe JJ in a year.
Maybe. Like, Mikko has he didn't end up finishing it off, but there was a season where I think he ended up getting hurt, but he was leading the entire NHL in points. So, like, he's a beast. I think it's more Cortland.
I'm saying JJ in a year.
All right.
Because I think he has more of that potential.
Okay.
So, some projection here.
Mikko, we got Landy, we got Mac, we got Kadri. We need, like, a nuke, Valerian Shushkin, high draft pick, didn't pan out somewhere else, comes into a system that really suits him and flourishes.
Boy, you'd almost hope this is future Randy Gregory.
Yes.
A high draft pick, yeah. He was a second-round pick.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think if there's any failure guys at an old spot that the Broncos now have.
This was something that Vic Fangio said he was going to do a bunch, and
Didn't
I don't think he ever executed on that.
No. Trying to think
on
along.
The offensive line, no.
DJ Jones was undrafted.
Yeah, and he was successful.
Right. I don't think there's a Ronald Darby, but I mean he was he got $10 million to come here. Kareem Jackson?
Yeah, but you wouldn't say that he was...
He wasn't unsuccessful, no. I think it's Randy Gregory.
I think Randy Gregory is the closest one there. I think didn't we already give Randy Gregory? No, we said he was in contention to be Kadri.
Right, exactly.
But I think this is a better comp from him.
And Ryan, I got to say, doing these comps a month ago, I think for Bednar, may have been saying, hope he's not John Fox. Because what would that mean is he got this team just to the pinnacle.
But they needed someone else.
To come in. And I think there was a legitimate belief in town that, boy, if they don't get this, especially if it's second round or before, maybe it's going to be a parting of the ways between those. Great for Bednar that he has overcome that. And Mike Shanahan, he's potentially looking at Mike Shanahan right now.
He's on the precipice of entering Mike Shanahan territory while still not completely out of the woods of being John Fox.
You think only one? Oh, because it's not done.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
He's got to get it done. And then, I think the Shanahan comp is interesting. What year did Mike Shanahan come to the Broncos?
Was it 96?
No, because
it wasn't 96. 95?
No, I think it was earlier than that. But I think it took him a little bit of time to get over the hump.
And he had a lot of both teams, so much talent.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting one. The thing about Bedsy is I don't think there's a great comp for a Broncos coach because he, first of all, has been through it all. He was his first season is a 48-point season. We talked about this last week, I think. That's essentially a 0 or 1 win season in the NFL.
Oh, that is incredible.
And there were people who said he should be fired then.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Joe Sakic stuck by his side, brought him all the way from there to where they are now. And I think it's such a great lesson in sports to, if you hire someone, you believe in them.
Yeah.
You cannot change your mind so quick.
Right.
Now, there's also don't hold on if you know it's wrong.
Yep.
But I think one thing that Joe Sakic did is, first of all, a 48-point season in the NHL, a lot has to go against you. There was injuries. There was crazy, just bad luck for the Avalanche that season. And I think it was important. Joe Sakic knows better than anyone. Is this the coach's fault? Is he doing something very wrong? Or is this just part of the process? He was smart enough to know that it was just part of the process and stuck with him. But I think the instant gratification part of sports has ended up with a lot of coaches being fired before they had a chance to do it. And I love the same thing with Mike Malone. The Nuggets have stuck by Mike Malone this long because they believe he's doing the right things. And so just firing a coach, the grass is not always greener on the other side. Who knows that better than the Nuggets, who fired George Karl for Brian Shaw and went into the dumpster.
Yep. And also with the head coaching hire, regardless of what sport it is, as a general manager, outside of a quarterback, that's the biggest hire you're going to make. So if you fire someone right away, you're admitting massive failure. And Ryan, come on, Wikipedia. Well, what are we doing here? Can we help Mike Shanahan out a little bit?
Well,
this is his photo?
Honestly, I'm kind of glad that he's not smiling.
Oh, that's a staple of his, though. You got to get the teeth in there. I guess he's wearing the orange. That's the Ring of Fame jacket.
Honestly,
but
he looks like a badass old NFL coach right there.
Yeah, he looks pissed. I think the smile's part of Shanny's game, man.
That really is.
They've got the white hair in there.
We don't need a current photo.
No, we absolutely
let's get a sideline
exactly,
photo.
Exactly. We need one of those. And he came back to be the coach of the Broncos, the head coach, in '95. So it really only took 1 year to really get rolling.
It's hard to know what year was what in the NFL, but I believe
it's
95. That's 95-96.
Right.
Which is the year the Broncos were the 1 seed and lost to the Jags.
No, I think that was actually technically the 96 season.
So that's 96.
That was in 97 because then the 98 they won it in.
No, because they won 96-97 and 97-98 season.
Right.
So this is 95-96 or is this 94-95?
No. They won 97-98 and 98. The Super Bowl was in 99.
Oh, right, because you don't skip.
Right.
So I was skipping one. Okay, all right.
So
I hate this.
What was the 95 season then? What was his first year? Can we just do football all in 1 year? So
just
it's
give
easy?
it a year.
Oh my gosh!
Call it the year that it started in.
Yes, exactly. Okay, first year under Shanny, 8-8. Now it's not 1-15, but not great by any means. And then the next year, that 13-3 season. Then of course we know what happened the following 2 years.
So it took him 2 years
to win it.
To win it. That's his closest comp would probably be. Not even though, but Koobs, he was just one way. He was pretty much just one and done.
Wait, Shanny and Koobs are the closest comp, yeah.
But even then,
he inherited Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
Mike Shanahan inherited John Elway.
Koobs is an unreal thing.
It is.
It's just he walks in and wins.
Yep, and then walks out. And then kind of walks back in again, and then maybe walks back in, but then last second there's a massive change of heart.
What a weird situation that was.
Very weird. And now his kid's with the organization.
All right. Any other players that I think I was thinking Burakovsky, really electric.
JT, someone said JT.
Oh gosh, that's really role playery, but clutch at the same time.
Clutch role player. Nick Bonito? Is what you hope he would be. Obviously, we're not going off of anything there.
Clutch role player.
Alberto?
I was trying to think a slot receiver, but it doesn't really exist for this team. That's like a Brandon Stokely, move the chains kind of guy.
Right.
It's his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Brandon Stokely.
I don't know if there's a JT comp for on this team.
Yeah, that one's tough. And I like how we just haven't mentioned any linemen because...
Yeah, who is it?
I guess we'll give a shout out to Garrett Bowles since he actually was a hockey player.
Eric Tomlinson.
Yeah, seriously, man, that's doing the dirty work.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy that JT is. There's too many like guys like that. Like there's like 7 guys who fit that exact like role.
Right.
Just clutch role player like Cogliano, LOC. Like there's just so many guys that you're asking to just play really hard.
Right.
Doesn't really fit for football.
No, it doesn't.
All right, I think we got most of the main guys.
I think so.
Sam Girard, but he's not even part of this, sadly.
Yeah, I think we did get most of the main guys, Ryan, but something we have not touched on is if the Avs win, you got to check out our friends over at FOCO because they are going to have awesome merchandise and collectibles celebrating the Avs next cup. Don't worry, I'm touching wood. If and when it happens. And right now, you can go and get a throwback 1996 newly released Joe Sakic Stanley Cup Celebration bobblehead or find any officially licensed Avalanche gear over at FOCO. And if you are on YouTube, in fact, you need to hop over to YouTube to go find their link in the comment section or in our description below, and you'll get 10% off by clicking on that and using the code DNVR over. They have so many cool things over there. We've got a lot of cool things in our merchandise, so do they. So check them out over at FOCO. Click the link in our description, and you'll get 10% off over at FOCO.
Awesome. Also got to check out our friends over at Athletic Greens. I actually forgot to take my Athletic Greens today. Shame me.
Wow, I can tell the glow's not
I know.
there.
Can't you? Don't I look so dimmed?
Yep.
You got to get your AG in. It'll get you glowing. It'll get you feeling good. It's funny. I brought this up the other day, but I said it's like you start your day with a dub. Like once you've taken your Athletic Greens, you're like, wow, I've really done something today.
Yeah.
And then someone then said, how could you say that and then be against making your bed in the morning? It's the same thing. But I don't think it is. Making your bed doesn't actually accomplish anything. Whereas having your Athletic Greens, actually, you're like, there's tangible benefits to it. We're talking gut health. We're talking getting your a supplement of fruits and vegetables. So many great benefits of using Athletic Greens. And each morning, it's cheaper than your cup of coffee and better for you than a cup of coffee. So go to athleticgreens.com/Broncos to get in on this deal. And they're going to hook you up with a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/Broncos.
And look at that awesome collectible that you can get over at FOCO. Joe Sakic holding up the cup, and it's limited. Only 200 of these, so click on the link in the description. Young Joe.
Those are sick.
Yeah, those are really cool.
A lot of bobbleheads here.
Yes, we do.
I had this one when I was a kid. This one actually might be mine.
Ooh. I just found a bobblehead of Troy Tulowitzki with his head popped off.
Oh,
yeah,
tough.
Yeah.
Tough scene.
Yeah, it is tough. But what's not tough is hopping into the comment section and talking to the people. Do we have any super chats? No super chats, so let's jump in. First one coming in from tastes good. Been here since the BSN days. First time comment just because y'all sold me on the Avs.
Let's go.
Never watched hockey before, but I'm locked in. Go Avs, but Broncos country is still king. LOL.
Okay, what is going on in this country that so many people, I mean, dozens of people over the last few weeks are telling me they're watching hockey for the first time. What are we teaching our kids? How are we not watching hockey at younger ages? And everyone I have yet to hear someone, actually I have one friend who said, I tried to watch it, I don't like it, which is pure insanity to me. But almost every single person I talked to is like, wow, I watched hockey for the first time and it is electric. We were at a birthday dinner the other night. This girl was there and she's like, I discovered last night that I love hockey. Watched it for the first time. It's awesome. We got to do a better job. Parents, show your kids hockey. This stuff is such a great sport.
Man, Ryan, you're going to have this conversation for a long time because now it's not even on TV for people to watch. So you're saying show kids hockey. They can't unless they check out Ivaka TV. And also, I think it's a harder sport to get into as a kid, literally by playing.
Yeah.
Because you can't just go outside and play unless you're in Minnesota. And it involves so much equipment. You have to travel in order to go play. So I think that's also a hard part of it.
The barrier to entry is really high. Not even talking about cost, which is a problem. Just the cost of all the gear is a lot. But I just mean like, you have to practice ice skating for like a year before you can even attempt to play hockey.
Yep, it's a really good point.
But that being said, it is such a great spectator sport. Maybe I just have really good eyes. I don't understand the I can't follow the puck thing. Or maybe it's just because my eyes are trained because I've been watching hockey since I was a little kid.
I do think it gets easier, for sure, the more you watch to follow it. So
But
I think you're trained.
Like, you see their stick move, and then you see where the...
So fast. Like, give people the benefit of the doubt. It takes a second.
Just get HDTV. 4K, 8K now they're making. Just get that high res.
I'm in on the, like, it just takes practice thing.
Yeah,
that
I
means,
think so.
just keep watching.
Yep, keep watching. And maybe you only have one more game left.
It is funny, though. People who watch, like, adults, it's weird to say that, who watched hockey in the 90s when they experimented with the ring around the puck.
Yeah.
Who aren't, like, big hockey fans are like, yeah, I missed that thing. Yet everyone who's like a true puck head, if you will, is like, oh, thank God they got rid of that garbage.
Right. And is that how you are?
I definitely don't want that on the screen.
But for the casual fan, if you're trying to get more people into it.
Maybe there's a second channel.
Yeah.
ESPN does 14 different streams for the college football playoff. Why can't we do 2 for the hockey? Here's the one for beginners.
Yeah, that's fair. I like it. Next one coming in from Melbourne Broncos says, my boys, no more squirrels, koalas, or chlamydia for me.
Yeah, there was...
wow.
Apparently, according to a commenter yesterday, koalas are chlamydia-ridden.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. It says yesterday was an awesome show. Great job, you and Hank. He says, since I've been listening to you guys, I've adopted the Nuggets, although I'm not much of a basketball fan. Switched from an Oilers to the Avs.
Let's go.
Reinforced my love for the Broncos, and the world looks brighter already. Sorry, Rockies. Nobody can make me change from the Cardinals. Can't wait until Saturday, Melbourne time, to watch the Avs win it all. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sell you on the Rockies, but I'll take Avs and Nuggets.
Yep.
That's great.
We've done some good work, Ryan.
Yeah, we have. We're creating converts all over the
we are
all over the world.
I love it. Some people call me the Space Cowboy. Says great overtime win for the Avs. Look at this. People here in our community talking about Avs. I love it. Can't wait till it's Broncos playoffs. Everyone is celebrating together. That goal in OT was strange in that the broadcast didn't seem to know it. It went in until the Avs all went out to celebrate and the announcers could see the replay. Has there been a fun Broncos win like that you guys can think of where the Broncos won, but it was a delayed realization?
Man, I don't think it's even possible because football is so cut and dry. It's probably why it's such an easy sport to watch compared,
right.
to hockey. I guess I can't say I can always see the puck because I certainly couldn't see it last night when it was in the back of the net.
If it would have had a glowing ring on it, you would have seen it.
That would have been hilarious. There's like,
yes. It looks like a halo on Vasilevsky's head.
How did they even do that? Was it someone's job to like?
No way. Well, I'm thinking now it's easy technology. Just slap that on and technology does it. But back then, maybe someone was following it.
I have no idea. I doubt it. But a delayed realization on the Broncos winning.
I can't think of Broncos, but Matt Holliday sliding into home. Yeah. I think everyone in Denver kind of went crazy, but then you did kind of have to be like, oh, wait, bring it back to reality for a second and be like, is he safe? Did he definitely touch? Is he good? Right,
and there was a little bit of a delay in the umpire calling him safe. So there's like everyone's holding their breath for half a second, you know?
And kind of, I mean, not as big of a moment, but a massive, massive moment in overtime.
Yeah. Trying to think of the Broncos like a field goal that barely snuck in or barely snuck out. Like, is there one where maybe? Oh, you know what? Wasn't there a Jason Elam? I want to say there was a Jason Elam game-winning field goal against the Raiders in overtime, where it kind of went over the top of the goalpost, and it wasn't immediately clear whether it went in. So then it had to pan to the referees.
That's a good one. I
want to say I remember that from I don't know, 07-ish.
All I can think about when thinking about maybe Broncos
earlier,
playoffs is DT and Tebow to DT. But everyone knew right then.
Yeah,
the stadium was going nuts.
As soon as he got past the safety, you kind of knew.
Yep. Oh, man. I can't get that out of my mind, and I love it.
Next one from Denver Rivals, who says, "Hey, guys, I cannot believe we're 3 days away from the Alzheimer's Association Denver Rivals game. We're still looking for women and coaches of any gender to join the fun this Sunday. If Avs win on Friday, hope to see a ton of the DNVR fam here. Let's hope the Avs win it all in 5 games. So the Broncos made a run to the Super Bowl this year. What teams do you think would play in their path? I personally have 2 predictions depending on if they win the division and get the first seed, and if they are a wild card or play in the round not as the first seed. If they're not the first seed, I see them playing the Bengals at home, and in the divisional round, they'd play the Bills in a shootout at home for the AFC Championship. For the Super Bowl, it's a rematch of an old AFC foe versus the Broncos versus Buccaneers for Super Bowl 57. Another Denver versus Tampa Bay. Versus Tampa. That's not the name of the city. If they play in the wild card round, the path would be similar. They would play the Chiefs on wild card weekend, then the Bengals, and then the Bills. Avs in 5, DNVR fam. For the last time of the season, please support Denver Rivals.
Wait. Explain Tampa to me.
The name of the city is not Tampa Bay. The name of the city is Tampa. Tampa Bay is simply a bay off of the city of Tampa.
This is Ryan's favorite conversation.
No way.
Yes, and it's the dumbest thing ever, which is why I tweeted before the series. Some teams support states. So some teams represent states. Some teams represent cities.
Right.
The Lightning simply represent a body of water.
I get it now even more.
Which is probably why they're trying to turn their rink into a pond.
Wow. Very fitting. That is crazy. I had no idea.
No sense.
I thought it was Tampa Bay.
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't they be the Tampa Lightning?
Yeah, or the Tampa Buccaneers.
Why are they representing the Bay? And as I always say when I bring up this question, I looked, and Green Bay is not just a bay off of the city of Green.
Yeah. You know what would be cool is the Tampa Bucks. Because it just replaces the Bay pretty well.
Tampa Bucks.
Tampa Bucks.
Yeah. And they already changed them from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays to the Tampa Bay Rays. Just take out another word, Tampa Rays.
Tampa Rays. That sounds interesting.
I think it sounds good. Like, it's a play on words with sun and the
Tampa Rays. I like it.
Yeah, I'm just catching some Tampa Rays, bro.
I like it a lot. Did you see, speaking of Rays, did you see the 681-pound stingray that was captured and then released earlier this week? Somewhere, I don't remember where at all. 681 pounds. It is the size of pretty much this carpet.
The whole studio?
Yeah, it's horrifying.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah.
Think if you're in the ocean and you see that thing just flapping its wings.
And the thing is, when they released it, it was incredibly murky water, so that thing could have come back and just boom, 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 got them all.
I don't think it boom, boom. They don't get people.
Their rays don't?
Well,
the sting?
They do, but they don't like.
Oh, it's not like it's not like immediate.
Right, it doesn't just like go around and just zap people.
So you had about 10.
More of a defense mechanism.
It's true. You had about 10 people holding a tarp that it was on in order to weigh it, and then you had 2 people just holding the ray.
So how did they get it? Like, was it an
stinger.
Accident? They accidentally caught it fishing or something?
No, I think they were. I don't know how they got it, but it was
like
intentional.
Marine biologists?
To weigh it to see if it was the heaviest ever, and it was. It was a very, very weird thing. Just saw that in the news about a week ago. But I had something also not about Rays or any. Oh, who are the Broncos playing?
Yeah.
On their run to a Super Bowl. I've got the 3 teams, and Ryan, you're not gonna like it. It's the Ravens.
Okay.
It's the Bills.
Okay, and the Chiefs.
Nope. It's the Chargers.
Oh my.
The Chargers take care.
God.
The Chargers take care of the Chiefs earlier in the playoffs as the Broncos are taking care of the Ravens.
The only thing the Chargers are going to be taking care of is their wives while they're at home.
Wow. Or on vacation.
Yeah. They'll be taking care of their handicaps. They'll be taking care of their lawns.
I hope we can enjoy this bit for years to come.
They'll be taking care of their children.
I'm afraid that's not happening, Ryan. Yes. Yeah, that's very true, Allie.
Yeah, well, every relationship is different.
I clearly know how your relationship is.
That's kidding. A mutual.
Just kidding. So who are they playing?
They are playing It feels like they always have to play the Steelers, but that's not happening.
No.
I like Bengals.
Okay.
I like what you said about the Ravens.
Okay. Oh, so both teams in the AFC North make it. Okay.
And the Chiefs.
So neither of us have an AFC South team. I'm not a big believer in any of those teams. And we're missing. No, we're not missing a division. No,
so I
yes,
guess
we are.
In this world, I was saying only the Broncos and Chiefs make it from our division.
I hope you're right.
And yet, I don't have a lot of confidence in the Chiefs, but it just feels like they're like the final boss right now.
Right, and that's fair.
And then in the Super Bowl, if they were to make a run to the Super Bowl this year, well, that was the question. That's not us predicting it.
It's not Green Bay. I can guarantee you that.
Is it a Bay though?
It is a Bay. No, it's not a Bay.
Oh,
it's a Tampa.
It's just a city.
It's just a city. Yeah.
By a Bay.
Yep.
That could be the Niners.
It could be, but no. It's not going to be the Niners. Who do we have there?
There's no way Tom is going to another one.
Yes, there is. And then he's going to go out to the other Bay, San Francisco, and go to one with them next year. I mean, who even is there? We focus so much on the AFC because that's where all the talent is. You have Green Bay, you have Tampa. See what I did there, Tampa. You have Enlist. I mean,
who's like a team?
No
led
way
by
am I putting
young
the
player.
Saints there. No way am I.
Cowboys is a team that people like.
But no.
No.
Because they're led by McCarthy.
The NFC East is a joke.
Yep. NFC South. Okay, just no NFC South. NFC North. Vikings. No. Bears. No. Lions. Definitely not. And
NFC West.
NFC West. Yep. So the Rams. Not Seahawks. Cardinals. No.
They're going to make the playoffs, I think.
You know what? I'm even more comfortable in Tampa because they weren't there last year. Just more motivation for Tom.
What a joke of a conference.
It is. It really is. Yep.
Like a 49-year-old quarterback or whatever he is still the best quarterback in your conference.
And that's why he's smart. The year after, he's going to go and play with the 49ers to stay in the NFC.
Legitimately, if Tom Brady was in the AFC, not thinking of his legacy, just this year, where does he rank in terms of quarterbacks?
I mean, definitely top 5. He should have been the MVP last year.
But that's okay. Top 5.
And I'm not even. Yes, absolutely.
But he's behind Mahomes. He's behind Allen.
How is he not won?
Because you're thinking of his career.
No. He should have been the MVP last year.
Why wasn't he?
Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. People fell for him. People fell for the trick.
I don't think he's won. I think maybe you make the case he's 3.
Behind
Mahomes and Allen.
Herbert's got to be in there.
Burrow would be before Herbert.
No.
What are we doing here? You have to play in a playoff game at least once.
We got to do a quarterback ranking. We got to do a full quarterback ranking soon.
20 years from now, we'll be talking about this. And instead of the conversation being about how Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, I'll be freaking out saying, Justin Herbert never even won a playoff game.
I certainly hope you're right.
He never even played in one.
I hope you're right, but I think you gotta take the blinders off a little bit.
Never made the
Open your eyes.
Zach's over here telling me he's a Hall of Famer. I'm like, he never made the playoffs.
He never had a winning record. But he did throw for 4,700 yards.
Every year.
Yep.
Oh, my God. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. We will see you tomorrow at the DNVR bar. I expect to see every single person that's ever watched one of our shows.
Baby, get here for the Avs rush.
All right. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day, and go Avs.